If you've been waiting, wondering, and hoping for real, solid answers about a new stimulus check, this might finally be the update you've been waiting for. There's been a lot of confusion out there lately. Some headlines say one thing, others say another, and when you're living on Social Security, SSDI, SSI, or VA benefits, you just don't have time for rumors. You need the facts. And today, we're bringing them to you clear, real, and straight from what the IRS and federal sources are now confirming. A $4,018 stimulus check, yes, that's the number making waves across the country right now. And according to new reports surfacing from Washington, this isn't just another possibility. There is now real confirmation about direct payments heading out in June 2025, specifically targeting Americans who rely on Social Security and SSDI. This is more than a headline. It's tied to legitimate policy moves, budget allocations, and federal program timelines that are now aligning to support those who need help the most. And here's what matters even more. We're not just talking about generic updates. We're breaking down exactly who qualifies, when the checks are expected, how much you could receive, and most importantly, what to watch out for in the weeks ahead. Because as we've seen before, when real money starts moving, so do the scammers, the false promises, and the copycat stories designed to confuse and mislead seniors. But not here. On this channel, we do things differently. We focus on the truth, always. So if you or someone you love is on a fixed income, if you're getting Social Security or SSDI, or if you've been silently wondering when some real help will arrive, stay with me, because this update is for you. Let's walk through what's really happening with this $4,018 stimulus check, what the IRS has confirmed, and what it all means for your wallet this June. Let's start with what we know. The IRS has now confirmed that a new wave of direct payments is scheduled for June 2025. And the number that has everyone talking is $4,018. That's not just some random figure tossed around for clicks. This amount reflects a carefully calculated benefit boost tied to targeted stimulus efforts aimed at those who are receiving Social Security and SSDI. While the official language from federal sources avoids the word stimulus at times, what we're looking at is essentially a structured form of economic relief meant to directly impact Americans living on fixed incomes. And that's where so many of you come in. Whether you're retired, disabled, or receiving benefits after years of service or hardship, this new payment may very well be coming your way. Now, of course, the first question everyone asks is, who exactly qualifies? And while things like income thresholds and benefit status are always part of the equation, what makes this June rollout different is how specifically it focuses on individuals currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits and SSDI. That's right, this isn't some broad base package with confusing layers and opt-ins. Instead, it appears to be structured around those already within the Social Security and disability systems, making it much easier to determine eligibility. If you're currently receiving monthly checks from either Social Security or SSDI, and your information is up to date with the SSA and IRS, then you are more than likely included in this round of payments. The exact date you receive it may vary depending on your birth date or the payment schedule you're usually on, but the confirmation from IRS sources has made one thing clear. June 2025 is the target month, and the machinery is already in motion. So where did this funding come from, and why now? That's a great question, and one that deserves a clear answer. Much of this funding is being tied to supplemental appropriations that were passed earlier this year under bipartisan pressure to provide direct economic relief to low and fixed income Americans. With inflation still weighing heavily on everyday essentials like groceries, utilities, and rent, lawmakers face mounting pressure, especially from advocacy groups representing seniors and the disabled, to do something meaningful. And for once, they listened. By reallocating unused pandemic-era funds and pairing that with surplus reserves from specific recovery programs, Congress and the Treasury were able to carve out this new round of payments without passing a massive new stimulus bill from scratch. That's why this payment came together more quietly than past rounds, but make no mistake, its impact could be just as significant. One of the other important elements to talk about is how this payment could affect those also receiving SSI or VA benefits. While the $4,018 figure is confirmed for Social Security and SSDI recipients, additional guidance is expected to clarify whether people receiving SSI or veterans benefits might receive either a reduced amount or a separate payment entirely. Historically, these groups have often been included in major stimulus programs, but because this June rollout is being administered directly through Social Security and IRS collaboration, there may be some slight variations. What we do know, however, is that no application is necessary. This is a direct deposit or mailed check situation, meaning if you normally receive your benefits in your bank account or on a direct express card, you'll receive this check the same way. If you get paper checks, you'll likely receive this one in the mail. But again, the keyword here is automatic. No action is required on your part, and anyone telling you otherwise may be trying to scam you. And speaking of scams, we need to pause here for just a moment because whenever these kinds of payments are announced, scammers come out in full force. They send fake letters, robocalls, and even emails that look official but are designed to steal your identity or banking information. You should never give your Social Security number, banking details, or any personal information over the phone or online unless you're speaking directly with a known and verified government agency. The IRS and SSA will never call you out of the blue asking for sensitive details in order to release your stimulus check. If you've received benefits before and you're in good standing, the payment will come automatically, no strings attached. Now let's talk about timing, because many of you are wondering when in June this money will actually hit your accounts. Based on past payment patterns from both the IRS and Social Security, it's expected that checks could begin rolling out as early as the second week of June and continue through the end of the month. These won't all arrive on the same day. Some people will see their deposits earlier depending on their birth date, the benefit program they're enrolled in, and their bank's processing speed. If you've received your monthly Social Security or SSDI payments reliably, then your $4,018 check should follow that same rhythm. There is no need to contact the IRS or SSA unless your address or bank information has changed recently and hasn't been updated in their system. Otherwise, you're in line to receive it automatically. And while this one-time payment won't solve every financial problem, it could be a meaningful boost for seniors struggling to keep up with rising costs. For some, this money might cover a month's rent. For others, it might mean paying off overdue medical bills, fixing up a car, or finally affording that dental work or pair of glasses that's been pushed off for too long. In other words, this payment could represent more than dollars. It could mean peace of mind. And in this economy, that peace of mind is priceless. What's also worth noting is that many financial experts believe this payment could be followed by additional support later in the year. While nothing has been confirmed yet, there are discussions happening in Congress right now about broader cost of living reforms for Social Security, possible adjustments to SSDI eligibility processes, and even talks of another stimulus or energy rebate package for the fall. So while this $4,018 payment is a major development, it may not be the last one. That's why it's so important to stay informed, watch out for disinformation, and follow sources that break down the facts without the hype. The truth is, if you're someone living on a fixed income, you've likely seen promises come and go. You've heard one thing one week, then something completely different the next. And it's exhausting. But that's why this channel exists, to give you updates that are grounded in truth and backed by actual policy, not speculation. We'll continue monitoring every official release from the IRS, the Social Security Administration, and Congress to make sure you're never left in the dark. You deserve clarity. You deserve respect. And most of all, you deserve real help that makes a difference. So if you've been anxiously checking the news, refreshing your My Social Security account, or just crossing your fingers every time a new update comes out, know this: help is on the way. This $4,018 check is more than just a payment. It's a sign that your voice is finally being heard. And here, you'll always find answers without the runaround. Stay tuned, stay safe, and we'll keep bringing you the news that matters most to your wallet, your family, and your future. If you found this information helpful and want to keep getting real, no-nonsense updates about Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA benefits, and stimulus checks, Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss a payment update that could impact your life. And if you're eligible for this $4,018 payment, or if you've got questions about it, drop a comment below. I read every single one. You're not alone, and we're in this together.